After a very disappointing game of football, I have some hope for you from the mouth of the Fred Warner. I've got cheat codes that he was throwing out there that will give you some confidence after what was a very disappointing day of football. Later in the show, I also have takes from Brock Purdy, Tig, and Nick Bosa, so stick around for that. If you're new here, I'm Nate. Love talking the 49ers. Would appreciate, if you're interested, a like and a sub. So the headline, of course, reads pretty straightforward. The Minnesota Vikings did what they always seem to do against the San Francisco 49ers, and that's get a win at home. And unfortunately, it was an ugly game. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to break down, and you know what? There's going to be a couple days this week where we can kind of get into some of the nitty-gritty on those details. But just surface level, Brock Purdy throws for over 300 yards and only able to convert for one touchdown, right? So those red zone concerns from week one kind of continue on into this week. Then you've got so many fluky things that happen. And I say fluky not because they're like a rare thing in football, but fluky in terms of not things that you would typically have all happen in the same game. And I think that's a huge part of what happened here. But let me know in the comments what you think happened. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling right now, what you feel like was missing. What was the biggest issue the 49ers had tonight? I want to be hopeful. I want to be positive. I want to really take that kind of a direction on this. But so let me know today, what was the big thing that you felt like the 49ers did wrong? Because at this point, I'm going to try and stay positive the rest of the time, okay? I'm trying to flip this mentality and see the positives here because there are plenty of them. Not just trying to fake it, not just trying to drink the red and gold juice or whatever, but I genuinely do believe, red and gold Kool-Aid, right? I do really believe that there's some positives we can take away here. All right, so let me know what you think after that loss. Let me know what you're seeing out there. Shout out to Jordan Mason, by the way. When given the opportunity, he did run the rock pretty strongly, so I want to give him credit out there. He did the best he could with what was in front of him, no doubt. And you got to give massive credit to Fred Warner, too, by the way. My word. Another monstrous game. We'll talk about him a little bit here, but what does everybody else see when they look at the 49ers? Like, what do you think everybody else sees when they look at the 49ers, right? I live in Colorado, so not living in the Bay Area, and all of you, shout out to all of you that don't live in the Bay Area anymore, and you know what I'm talking about. When you talk to non-49ers fans, they're everywhere. People that are not connected to the Bay Area, everybody looks at kind of two main things. One, this 49ers roster is incredible. This is a great roster, highly ranked roster. And number two, Kyle Shanahan. I mean, those are the things that people outside, and I get the occasional, my wife's cousin was in town, and he's like, "Are you a Brock Purdy guy? He's the guy, huh?" You get that kind of stuff, sure, that kind of stuff too. But my point is, you have a highly talented roster, and you have an incredible coach, and everybody else recognizes that. And let's not lose sight of that in all of what we're going to do here. I want to talk about the cheat code from Fred Warner, though. Let's listen to what Fred Warner had to say after the post game. There's a lot here, so listen very carefully.
Think of the plays that I wanted back in this game. Like I said, we got to play more together as a team. We just got to do our job, play smarter football, and the rest will take care of itself because we are talented. We do play hard. We just got to play smarter.
That was embarrassing because that was not the beginning of the video.
It just hurt. It hurts my soul, honestly, because we knew exactly the type of game that it was going to be, what was going to be required for us to win this game. And I told the team in there, it's never going to be an issue of us playing hard. We always play hard. We got so much talent in that room. We're always going to play hard, but it's about playing smarter. We gotta protect the football. Obviously, we got to take it away on defense. Special teams, we can't give up that block punt. And then defensively, the game plan, when we say we got to stop the run and we got to be great on third down and we don't do either of those things, like, it's going to be a long day. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't do anything to help ourselves in this game, and obviously they played better than us. Too many my bads, too many, man, I'll try to be better next time, and me included. Like, I'm thinking of the plays that I wanted back in this game. Like I said, we got to play more together as a team. We just got to do our job, play smarter football, and the rest will take care of itself because we are talented. We do play hard. We just got to play smarter.
All right, now none of you are going to be surprised by this. If you're a longtime subscriber, you know I'm an endless optimist, all right? So what I'm hearing out of Fred Warner's mouth, I wrote him down, all right? I got a list for you. This is the cheat code from Fred Warner, okay? Firstly, effort, which he admits is already there. This is a team that plays hard on every single play. People talking about, the Jets didn't want it enough. No. Both of those teams out there last Monday, both of those teams, 100% effort teams. They were going all out, okay? This football team problem that Fred Warner says needs to be solved is already solved in the fact that the first issue is effort, which is already there, okay? Number 2, the next problem. This is one that we did not do well tonight or today. Sorry, I watched it tonight. Yeah, long story. It's about playing smarter, okay? And that's very achievable. You should like when you hear play smarter because we have all of the tools and resources to play smarter. We have a great coaching staff, and even if you want to go negative on Nick Sorensen, say, we don't know yet for that guy, that's fine. You got Brandon Staley upstairs, and he is solid, and we know he's solid as a defensive mind, okay? So about playing smarter, we're going to be fine with that. That's it. And you know what? Brock Purdy talked a little bit about that. We'll get to his audio clip later, so I'll move on from that. Protect the football. That was the third thing that he said. And this was a funny one, you guys. Like, this was super unusual. This is why I call it kind of fluky. Not because none of these things can't happen. They can all happen in football games, but it's rare that they all happen in the same football game, especially with such a talented roster. Here's what all happened. We had a blocked punt. That was not a fun thing to experience. Then you have a fumbled punt return. That one at least we got back, but still, fumbled punt return. That's 2 big issues from the special teams right there. We have fumble from our quarterback, from our QB1, Brock Purdy, in a way that was very unnatural, like lost grip of the ball to the point where it was like, was that a pass or a fumble kind of deal? And I think they ruled it as a fumble. Quarterback 1 threw interception, had that too. So there were a lot of things in there that, all of those things happening in one game, that's already right there. You're like, if you going into this game said these 4 things are going to happen, you're like, we probably lost that game. And you'd have been right. Okay? So those things, I don't think you're going to see that combination of those things happening on a regular basis. So I'm going to call that fluky. All right? We're moving on to the next one. He also said you got to take it away on defense, which they did. They did pretty well with that. That interception, I've got it right here. Hold on. I think I have it right here. Oh, there it is. That interception, I get it. When I use my hotkeys for the live streaming software, it moves my video. That's what's going on. I mean, yes, sir. Thank you very much. Just imagine what he's thinking right now. Sam Darnold right now just thinking, did that just happen? Yes, it did. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Take it away on defense. You got to take it away on defense, he says, right? They had an interception. They had a fumble recovery. Warner forced another fumble, by the way, on Sam Darnold that nobody's talking about because it goes out of bounds. But he forced the fumble. I mean, and he got a nice little hit on Sam Darnold, too, in the process. So there's that, too. Okay, what else did he say? Special teams can't give away that block punt. And that's not something we see very often, so I'm going to suggest we don't need to expect that's going to happen very often. Special teams going to get their stuff together on that. The big one, this is the one that we probably need to spend more time talking about in another video. But the 49ers did not stop the run and were not great on third down. The way Fred Warner put it, you go into that game saying we need to stop the run and we need to be great on third down, and we did neither of them. That's the words of Fred Warner. And that's the best criticism he probably had of the entire thing. If we go into a game and we can't stop the run and we can't slow down their third down play, they were incredibly efficient on third down. I have to look up the stats because now I don't know if it's on the page that I had open. I'll have to look it up later. Okay, we'll come back. That's a good stat, though. We can come back to. I do have it here somewhere. Third down efficiency, 7 for 12. 7 for 12. How are the 49ers on third down efficiency? 2. Converted on third down twice. Twice all game. That's a problem. Both sides of the ball. So all that being said, the third down issue is 100% a big area that the 49ers are going to be focusing on this week. And again, We have all of the resources we could possibly dream of to figure out this particular problem, to figure out not just this problem, but to figure out being smarter in general, okay? The last thing that he said, though, that he threw out there, he said, we are that talented. We just have to play smarter. And that is a reminder. At the end of the day, you'll be glad you have a roster like this after games like this, because when we come back to the table and when everybody starts figuring things out again, you've got so many talented players on both sides of the ball that you have to believe our chances of turning around a bad situation after a tough loss like that are way, way higher than anybody else's chances in this situation because of just how incredible our roster is. As I've said a million times on the show, statistically ranked the best roster in football from 10 or 15 different angles. This is the best roster in football. So, that part I'm going to be real positive about and be and keep hopeful or stay hopeful, because I see what Fred Warner's saying, and it's subtle, but what's the cheat code the 49ers have? Is they have the best roster in football. They're talented. They have the effort. It's already there. And they have the smarts. They weren't playing smartly. I don't know if that's the right way to say that. But they have the smarts. The coaching staff is there. The players are there. The intellect is there on the field. And they will be better. I'm confident of that. Let's get into some of the other things. Before we get into all the players, I wanted to throw this one out there from Joe Shasky, because this is going to be a big storyline this week, guys. I don't ever want to hear ever again, he says ever twice, I think intentionally, that practice doesn't matter. Multiple years, multiple players signed late and look completely gassed and out of sync. I'm not going to argue with that. I think that's accurate. Let's hear firstly what Brock Purdy had to say about efficiency on first and second down, which leads, of course, into your ability to convert on third down.
When first or second down, aren't positive plays and, just trying to move the ball, and then, you got to rely on third down with, their scheme and obviously their disguises and stuff. It can be tough. And, they just did a good job with making it look like one thing and it was another, and different types of blitzes and stuff, or just dropping out. So they did a lot. And that's just on us. It's on me to move the ball, be efficient on first and second down, and get us in third and manageable, and then convert on third down. So it's a game of football. It's 4 quarters like that. And, we had to learn the hard way.
And you know what? That was something that I thought several times during the game. This is football. Like, sometimes in a game, especially in football, but sometimes in a game, there are certain things that aren't going your way. And you look at the roster and like, this team, if anybody can do it, this team can do it. But you just have too many things not go the right way. Your fault, many of them, some of them unlucky, let's say. And it's just hard to come back. When you're looking down the barrel of 3 minutes and 30 seconds, 2-possession game, and you have no timeouts, I mean, come on. The likelihood of that, regardless of how good your roster is, the likelihood of that's pretty low against a pretty good defense. They played really well today. I'll give him credit for that. All right, Brock Purdy on Brandon Aiyuk's effort today.
I mean, for me, I think he looks pretty good and stuff, but I don't, I'm dropping back and going, BA's not like what he's been like. I don't think that at all. I think for me, I just try to go through my reads, and he's been where he needs to be, and there's probably a couple routes maybe in certain looks where we both could have been better on some stuff, but that's just like, early in the season stuff, if you ask me. So I know that we'll continue to get better together in our connection and everything, but for 4 quarters, man, I thought BA grinded and went and competed, man, and I'm proud of him for that.
Way to not throw your boy under the bus, but if he was so open, why didn't you throw to him? If he was doing what he was supposed to be doing, why didn't you throw to him? I would like to know that. Secondly, he kind of answers that question, so I think I know the answer, and he talks about that lack of connection that they have, calling this early season kind of stuff, which is the type of thing that did not happen last season. Why? Because he was there during training camp, and he was balling out during training camp, and he was able to find a good connection with his quarterback through the vast majority of the season, which made him have great numbers, which made him get a big payday. I mean, there's more to it than that, but okay. Moving on, though, Brock Purdy, continuing on his takeaways. This is a great point from Brock.
I
I mean, it's just coming out, and it's as simple as executing. We got the players, we got the scheme, we got what it takes, and it's dropping back and executing, knowing where my answers are at, and getting the balls into the guys' hands and drop stepping and getting first downs, and it's all of that. It's football, man. Just because you got really good players and good scheme doesn't mean the other team's going to give it to you. You have to go out and earn it. So,
and again, we have all of the things that you need. We just have to go out and execute. I love that take. Very similar to what Fred Warner was saying. This from Nick Bosa was interesting, reflecting on what's next for the 49ers after today's loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good coach and a lot of really good players. So, and Sam's doing a great job. So, yeah, it's a wake-up call, but we know why it happened. And there's a lot to fix. There's some good things for sure, but
nobody's confused about what happened. Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows exactly what happened, including Jair Brown.
I gotta be better. I kind of left my safety hanging there. Yeah.
This is about that play, by the way, the big play, the 97-yard play to Justin Jefferson.
I just gotta be better on that play.
Is it a coordination thing with the two of you?
Yeah.
And can you just explain in terms to someone who doesn't watch film?
I tell you my defense.
No, just loosely how you left him hanging. You're supposed to.
I got Jefferson on the over.
Okay.
He got Jefferson on the up and out.
So taking full responsibility for that play, which I respect, by the way, because I actually thought he played that play better, but knowing his responsibilities does change that a little bit. One last look, because I have to watch it again, because why wouldn't I? This was really special, and we need to come back to that. Fred Warner is having an absolute start to the season. My goodness, he's on an absolute tear to kick off the season, and he's one of the guys out there that you love that he's your leader, you love that he's your captain, and he deserves every bit of praise that he gets. One more take before we go here from David Lombardi. 49ers have too much DB talent to struggle the way that they have on third downs for the first 2 weeks. It was also an issue against the Jets, as Warner pointed out in the locker room. It's definitely the biggest issue SF has to iron out in this long season. And I love it because, again, we always come back to the amount of talent that we have. We have the talent. We have the talent. We have the smarts. We got to put it all together. This is early season stuff, and it's going to be just fine for the San Francisco 49ers. I'm still saying it. What a time to be alive.